North London derby, boys. It was a great game. I loved it. I absolutely loved it. It was for me, the best game of football so far this season. It really, really was. As a kind of neutral to it, watching it unfold, there's been a huge amount of fallout. There's Spurs are getting bantered for celebrating draws. Arsenal fans are getting bantered because a lot of them said it was going to be an absolute easy, simplistic walkover. To quote Igal, he said the easiest North London derby ever was upon them. Rory, from your point of view, a lot of people still look at Arsenal being the better team, but there's also talk, and I've seen this on socials, I've seen some pundits say this today, that Spurs inside 6 games have caught up with Arteta's sort of 3.5 to 4 year project. What was your thoughts on that, plus the overall performance yesterday from Arsenal?
I think the performance from us was definitely below par, especially in the second half, and Declan Rice going off was definitely a part of that. But for the first 35 minutes, it kind of looked like it was going the same way that a lot of us predicted. I think Jesus should have put us 2-0 up, and at that point it would have probably killed the game. But in the second half, we looked poor. And to be fair to Spurs, they were a lot better than I was anticipating. I don't know how sustainable that style of football is, and I think there will be games where they'll get caught out a lot and it will cost them. But they've massively improved, and fair play to them. But it is, I do think people are getting a bit carried away with the praise that they're giving Spurs, because I do think Arsenal let themselves down in the second half.
Yeah, but the reason why they're getting that is because of your fan base was so arrogant. That's the reason why. If you guys were humble and actually respected the fact that Spurs have been a better team this season overall, you wouldn't be holding those mentions already.
Yeah, but I mean, there's this whole, I feel like Arsenal.
I know that ain't you, Don, talking about the arrogance.
Yeah, that's interesting. But there's a thing about Arsenal being arrogant. Ange Postecoglou said that they were gonna turn up at the Emirates and scare the life out of Arsenal. So there's an arrogance there. I think Spurs fans were putting 5 or 6 Spurs players in their combined 11s. I think there was arrogance on both sides, and ultimately, I thought a draw was a fair result based on the game.
Yeah, I mean, it's a funny one because, like Terry said, the amount of people today coming at me, oh, well done on your 2-2 win and well done for. And I'm like, come on, man, you guys didn't give us a cat's chance in hell. Like everyone said we were going to get smoked. People on here said we were going to get smoked. No one gave us anything. And I said, I didn't expect
name names.
Oh, yeah. As soon as you're piping up, you were one of them. But, credit to you, because you came out and apologized. And, it takes a big man to say, you know what, I hold my hand up. I got it wrong. Gal, I still didn't get an apology out of him on air. He did send me an inbox video that he put out saying, you know what, I might have got it wrong, blah, blah, blah. And it's just funny because I don't think people, like Don's even saying, people didn't really look at how we've been playing and respect what we were doing going into the game. And I'm not going to go crazy. It is only 6 games in. I still think Arsenal are a really good team. I'm not going to be here being disingenuous, but I do rate the way we came into the Emirates and played our game of football. We didn't cower to them. Even when we went 1-0 down, we still played our brand of football. Even when Maddison gave the ball away and I went bonkers, the fact that he didn't even see Jesus around us, we still played our brand of football. Maddison still showed for the ball, still wanted to get on the ball and dictate. And Arsenal was smart in what they were doing. They were setting traps. They were allowing us to they were lulling us into a false sense of security. Maybe they took their chance. Like Rory said, it would have been a different game. But I still think as well, Arsenal fans and just football fans in general have got to respect the way we came into that game at a very tough place to play. Probably the second best team, if not the best team in the Premier League in terms of how they played the whole of last season and did our thing, And, Sonny was talking the talk last week and he backed his talk on the day. The same as Maddison and same as Ange Postecoglou. And if it's an arrogance or confidence thing, it's a bit of both. But yeah, I liked what I saw. I know it's early days. I'm not going to sit here and say, yeah, we're ahead of Arsenal already. That's crazy because it's still too early or too small a sample size. But you can clearly see the progress. You can clearly see what we're doing. You can clearly see the players that he's brought in and how he wants to play. And I think we gave Arsenal a really good game. I think a draw was a fair result. I see some people saying, if we would have done this, we would have beat you 3-1 or 4-1. Shoulda, woulda, couldas don't really count. Do you know what I mean? Take it for face value on what it was. It was a great game, like Terry said. And when I obviously during the game, my emotions and everything was going on. But when I sit back and rewatched it, it was a high quality game of football.
I actually don't think it was that high quality. I thought Arsenal and Spurs were quite sloppy. I thought out of possession, both teams were really good. But I actually thought the way Arsenal played football was nowhere near our best, and that was partly because of how well and how chaotic Spurs made the game. I thought the midfield it was chaotic. I think Spurs committed 19 fouls, which I've got no issue with because it worked, and I think that's the way you can get at Arsenal. And again, I thought Spurs were sloppy in the final third as well, and could have done more with the chances that they created. So I thought it was an entertaining game and an exciting game because of how kind of chaotic it was. But I think actually both teams probably will feel like on the ball they should have done better.
But Rory, don't you think that's because the other teams were forcing them into mistakes? I.e., when Gabriel Jesus stole the ball off Maddison, when Maddison stole the ball off I can't remember his name. I skipped my mind. The guy that came up. Yeah, Jorginho. Those type of things. Players working hard off the ball, players cutting down passing angles. These type of things. So people are working hard in offense and defense, i.e., making the game chaotic. But both teams are doing their bit, on and off the ball. And I thought tactically as well, both managers set up and stuck to their ethos and their principles. So it made a good game of football. Like I said, maybe not the highest quality game, but a good game of football for everyone to watch and enjoy.
I actually think
I want to say one thing.
Down.
I love. Go
ahead.
Let me just say this about the thing,
because
I predicted a 4-1 Arsenal win. I can't lie. I did.
I don't know what you were smoking,
gonna
bro.
snap Spurs, I thought this was gonna be an easy game. I said Spurs are crap, so that's why I told KJ and Terry as soon as the game ended. I'm like, listen, you have to bring me on the top 6. I've publicly apologized on Twitter. This is where the platform so that I made my prediction. So I will publicly apologize to Ange Postecoglou because he deserves a bit more respect for his work. I will not respect Spurs as a football club until they give me some of this shit, because I can't have a trophy more than Spurs in the last 10 years. So, give me a trophy, Spurs, and me and you will talk then. But until then, I can't respect you. But look, the guy's doing fantastic work. He's getting so many bums in that team to play good football. So I'm like, it's actually, you have to give him credit. I mean, earlier on,
wait, who are these bums? Just out of curiosity.
Roy. I know you're the bum expert because you're 14th, but just let me. So now, when it comes to Tottenham Hotspur, listen, they went to Arsenal. They played their brand of football. I can't lie to you. Some of the passes, some of the styles of play, not a buzzword, like actual style of play and rhythms and patterns that Spurs were pulling off, were actually insane. There was a clip going around on Twitter, a 30-second clip, in which they got the ball from Vicario to a big chance created literally within 30 seconds. Pass, triangle, and then the right back is through, and then it's a pass, and I think it was Saliba or Gabriel who cleared it out for a corner. So we have to give credit to Spurs because Spurs had a fantastic game. But listen, my job is to always ruin parties. All I'm saying is, and I don't want to, do too much because the game is...
Be careful what you say, Hassan.
Listen, tune into Straight Facts on Friday. That's all I'm saying, because I'm going to go into detail. But this bubble is going to burst next Saturday. That's all I'm saying.
Love it. Please, do an gal. Keep talking. Keep talking, please. Just
about
keep going.
Patrick,
you don't have to make.
Have you just called me a gal, Patrick? Don't ever disrespect me like that.
Do an gal. Do an gal.
No. You know me and a gal ain't the same. Let's not do that now. Neither are Arsenal and Liverpool.
Wait, Patrick, is Maddison injured?
All right, listen, we don't know. The scan was today, so fingers crossed it comes back positive. But he looks okay.
How about this? I'd beat them with Maddison. Right. How about that?
Question for you, Patrick, that comes from Neeks. Neeks says, why was Son taken off? The win was there for the taking.
Yeah, that was a strange one.
I know. I don't know, to be honest. I think at that point, maybe Ange thought, you know what, let's hold what we've got. Don't be naive and end up losing this game 3-2. That's the only reason I can think behind it, because you brought on Højbjerg. He's not really going to go do anything going forward, essentially shoring the game up. But they were there for the taking, man. But maybe...
Do you regret that?
Yeah, I do. I personally do, because I think when it was 2-2 and we were pushing, you guys looked a bit shaky. And then I think when we took Son and Maddison off, then you regained control of the game. And even though Richarlison had a chance late on, you looked the stronger team in the latter stages of the extra time. And I think it's obviously we took off our two main threats. So then you guys obviously was able to get back on the ball and push and dictate. So, Yeah,
I agree.
Well,
I thought in the stadium it felt like when Højbjerg came on and Sod and Madison went off, it felt like we'd been let off the hook a bit. There was a bit of a kind of a, oh, all right, at least we're probably not going to leave here with a loss. And I felt like there were points where we were there for the taking. At one point, Saka was hobbling around at right back pretty much. And I thought maybe that's the first sign from Ange that, I thought Ange would have gone for the kill. Because you don't often win at the Emirates, and it was a big chance for you to do that. So
I thought it was sentimental to Richarlison because he took Son out and put Richarlison in, and I thought that was a very sentimental move. See, genuinely, I thought he played Richarlison because new energy and everything, but you cannot just sit here and convince me that Richarlison should be a footballer in the Premier League. He shouldn't be.
But you hate him though, bro. You need to chill.
No, bro, listen. The way he touches the ball and tries to pass the ball and tries to dribble players, that should not be allowed in the Premier League. I'm sorry. I'm being truly honest here. Yes, you can be a number 9 and everything. He is literally like Calvert-Lewin without the goals. Literally.
I swear he scored more goals than Calvert-Lewin. I'm sure he scored more goals than Calvert-Lewin.
Anyway,
there's no way Richarlison is the hill you want to die on. There's no way.
Come on. With that brand of football, if you're defending Richarlison, you should be screaming, I want this guy out of the door. I want
Premier League goals. He's got 50 Premier League goals.
I watched that video that you were on. You should agree more with Fuad. That guy's done out here, man. He's done. Richarlison's done.
No.
Let it go. It's over, man. It's over.
It's his second season.
I actually think this is probably quite a hot take, but I actually think if Richarlison
plays for Chelsea
instead of Brennan Johnson, you would have had a better chance of winning the derby.
No chance. Chelsea. Don't link him to my club, bro.
I actually think if Richarlison was up front,
Richarlison would start at Chelsea. I don't know why you think that's
No.
Bro,
so you're
Emil Heskey's been retired 15 years. He starts for Chelsea right now.
Exactly.
Oh yeah, here we go.
Can we go back to the Arsenal game?
You're not a slanderer. I'm gonna defend myself when I want to crush it as much as you lot do.
The Chelsea barbecue later. We'll save it for the Chelsea barbecue later.
Go back to the Arsenal game. To be honest, I just wanted. I actually.
I just want to give my.
Can I get my point across? Just
go on.
I actually sat here and said that Ange Postecoglou is going to try to play the football, but again, Arsenal are going to run the game. And I thought actually the players of Arsenal will be able to play better in the whole 90 minutes. Ange Postecoglou opened the space for Arsenal. It was left 1-on-1 in most of the places on the pitch, but Arsenal players just couldn't do the job. And that tells me that the confidence that these Spurs players are playing with now is in the roof. You know what I mean? When you leave your defender 1-on-1 against Saka, you trust him, even after a mistake, to get the second one and the third one right. That's a lot of confidence. That's a lot of credit. And to be honest, this game showed a little bit about Arsenal's players. Some of them are overrated. Really.
Mo, have you got something to bring up about Madison and Odegaard?
Okay, so
go for it, brother.
Let's slow this down. So when you say overrated, is that regarding Odegaard or like?
No. That's not. It's not personal. One or two.
So who's overrated at Arsenal then? Who's overrated?
For me, an example. Saka yesterday should have taken Udogie to the cleaner. You know what I mean? Many times he was left 1-on-1. He dribbled him once, and then after that, Udogie was able to contain him. Gabriel Jesus and Pedro Porro, who was a bum, as Sam said last year. Pedro Porro, we were laughing at Pedro Porro. Pedro Porro was able to play against Gabriel Jesus. Yes, in the first 30 minutes, he had 1 or 2 problems, but the game is 90 minutes. Even Van der Ven, who's new, was able to play. Eddie Nketiah, yes, we don't rate him and everything, but he has Premier League experience. Bissouma, that was crap last year. Odegaard, many times tried to dribble him, couldn't. Declan Rice was running after Madison. I can name names. My thing about it is that in this game, Ange Postecoglou left Arsenal to play the football they wanted, that PSV, but Arsenal couldn't deliver. So that's a big problem for Arsenal to look at themselves like, how were we left 1-on-1 and we couldn't score that many goals? The goal they scored is a penalty and a deflection, and they had 2 other chances. One of them is a mistake from Madison. And the other one, 2 dead angles. The Jesus one and the Nketiah from a bad back pass. But if you remember a pattern of play for Arsenal, 1-on-1, someone dribbling, creating something, no. So I'm looking at Arsenal this game, not Spurs. Spurs played the same way they played against Brentford, against Burnley, against everybody. The defense, Saliba was good. Ben White was not bad. But I'm looking at the Arsenal attack and saying, you were very underwhelming for a team that wants to go for the title. That's okay for top 4, not okay for the title.